Hello and welcome back to the Turbo Newscast.
Hi.
It's part 2 of Section 1 now.
You know what
The,
that means?
No, you don't.
Oh,
It's the Internet Technology section.
okay.
Now you know what that means.
Because Cliff tells me.
I should have taken a drink before the break. Oh well. Or
Probably.
before we started. Oh well.
That's okay.
We'll edit it out in post.
I won't. Well,
I know you won't.
you're assuming I'm not lazy.
No, I know you're lazy. You're just as lazy as I am.
As an editor, yes.
Alright, well, let's get started with the internet news, shall we?
Okay.
Let's start with Netflix.
We have to.
Yes, we do, because I decided that that's what we were going to start with.
So it's your fault.
Yes. Well, technically, no, it's Amazon's fault.
It's always your fault.
No, it's
I'm gonna
Amazon's
blame-
fault.
I'm gonna blame Twitch's and you.
Netflix was crippled on Christmas Eve by Amazon's, web services. That's the one. Amazon Web Service outages. I forgot what the WS stood for in AWS.
I was
Yeah.
Oz. It's Oz. Oz.
Netflix was among the services that on Christmas Eve was affected by Amazon's web service elastic load balancing being down.
And no one in Canada cared.
Yeah, the official now they have been back, or they have gotten back up, obviously, but Amazon actually came out and said, "Well, see, okay, here's what happened. One of our guys, one of our programmers, who has access to the production machine, kind of accidentally the entire system." So, yeah, sorry about that.
It's kind of like that one guy who turned off the power for the entire East Coast that one time. That was years ago. Was that one guy, or was it? I don't remember.
I don't remember that.
That was. Well, it didn't happen to you, so you have no idea. You lost power for days.
Jeez.
It's like one guy like fell into a power thing or something, and the whole world just went black. Anyways.
Anyways.
On the micro level.
Yeah, I'd hate to be that guy. Cause you know the boss called in and he was like, "Hey, why is our elastic load balancing down?"
Hey, you are
Well,
so fired.
Well, you see, I
accidentally the whole system.
I accidentally ran an RM-RF on the system. Can you fix it? If I want to keep my job, yeah. Yeah, I can. Just give me a day or two.
And that was not a fun Christmas.
No. They got it fixed late Christmas Day, meaning that they were working Christmas Eve through Christmas Day. Fun times.
Christmas.
Yeah.
Suppose you want to avoid being fired, you should work on it, but it's a terrible time for it to happen, I suppose.
All right. Let's move on to someone who you usually don't see in the internet section of the newscast. Usually we meet them in the technology part. But Intel was planning on launching a web TV service and set-top box where you could subscribe to individual channels.
Huh.
Yeah, kind of a nifty idea, isn't it?
Yeah. So its plan right now is to do that, right? It's not like it's it's been crippled.
No, yeah, their plan was basically it's TV, but instead of having to pay like $80 for all of the channels
Mm-hmm.
and watching Discovery Channel and CNN, you can just pay for Discovery Channel and CNN.
Well, see, the thing is that you're saying their plan was. So I'm thinking that it's not happening anymore because you're saying was,
Well,
not is.
the problem is they're apparently held up in content negotiations.
Oh, is it
Yeah.
Hollywood?
Of course it's Hollywood.
Oh. Damn it, Hollywood. Just give us good stuff for once.
Yes, while it would be nice, it would be amazingly nice. Well, Hollywood has been hesitant to jump on board. Yeah.
I'm for Bollywood now. Yeah.
Yeah, I want it to happen. I really want it to happen. But I don't think it'll happen. At least not relatively soon.
Just like Google Fiber.
Well, technically, Google Fiber did happen. Just not
Not where
widespread.
we want it to happen.
Yeah, it happened just where no one cares about it.
Only Kansas City is benefiting from it.
Alright, well, let's move to Facebook.
We have to. This never ends well. You know that Facebook never ends well.
No, I know it never ends well, but still. Let's talk Facebook. Facebook is going to charge $1 to message anyone you don't know. Now, they announced in a blog post on the 20th that they're making 2 updates to their Facebook Messages feature. First is a new filtering system that lets users choose between basic and strict settings. The former, basic, will let you see messages from friends and people you might know, like a casual acquaintance or a friend of a friend. The latter will only allow your friends to message you. The second update, however, should raise a few eyebrows. Dubbed the inbox delivery test, Facebook will allow a small group of users to pay to send out messages to pay to send out messages to users they are not connected with. Thank you, Daily Dot. You are terrible at this.
Oh, it is Daily Dot.
These will appear in the inbox folder of the messages as opposed to other, the folder that functions as something of a spam filter.
Mm-hmm.
Facebook says several commentators and researchers have noted that imposing a financial cost on the sender may be the most effective way to discourage unwanted messages and facilitate delivery of messages that are relevant and useful.
And it's not because you just want money, right?
Yeah, totally. Now, if you're curious who would pay to use such a feature, Facebook says anyone who wants to send a message to someone you heard speak at an event but are not friends with, or someone you'd want to connect with about a job opportunity. Which sounds similar to InMail from LinkedIn, which is more of the professional social network. At least that's what it bills itself as.
Huh. Until it becomes like Facebook and ends that.
Of course, luckily, the experiment will only be available to individuals right now, meaning brands cannot pay to send you a message, And Facebook is also limiting users to one paid message per week.
Okay, well that's not too bad.
Yeah.
Since they'll never use the feature anyways.
But you know they'll change it eventually.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Be like, you can only send out 7 billion messages a week.
Huh.
Okay.
And they're $5 a message. Or so.
They're $7 billion a message. That'll
Well,
end it real quick.
let's keep on with the Facebook theme.
Let's not and say we did.
All right, let's not and say we did. Let's go to Instagram instead.
Okay.
Instagram lost 25% of their user base, apparently.
25. Well, not my sister, unfortunately.
Yeah. Instagram users, outraged over new rules, made good on their threat to dump the popular photo sharing app.
Oh, finally, I threat with some actual consequences.
Yeah. They may have shed nearly a quarter of their daily active users in the wake of the terms of service debacle, according to figures from app data. They
It's just one of those times where the community actually does something,
yeah, thank God.
as opposed to just threatening to do something and then not doing anything.
Yeah, Instagram did peak at 16.4 million daily active users the week they rolled out their policy change, and fell to 12.4 million as of December 28th, according to app data.
Why are we even talking about Instagram?
Because Facebook acquired them for $1 billion.
I wish I had $1 billion.
I do too.
I would not spend it on Instagram.
I wouldn't either. Yeah, I would spend $1 billion by moving to Kansas City and buying Google fucking fiber.
We would buy a studio in Kansas City.
Yes, with $1 billion, we would be the Turbo Newscast live from Kansas City.
Yes. Facepalm. What are you facepalming about? Facegram.
You know, I actually would. I kind of agree with you, Idisco. I'd spend $1 billion on my Chinese restaurant down the street. They've got amazingly good food.
You could buy the restaurant for that much.
Shit,
you could
yeah.
buy multiple of those restaurants for that much.
Alrighty. Well, let's move from one terribly unpopular thing now to another. Windows 8.
This is not a lot, right?
No, as far as I know.
Oh my gosh, that's fantastic.
Windows 8 is proving less popular than Windows Vista.
Is this really a site?
Yeah.
Kid Guru?
Data from Net Applications has shown that, at least on their systems, Windows 8 is much less popular than Windows Vista, with, of course, Windows 7.
Skyrocketing above all of them.
Yeah. There we go. Sorry. Now, keep in mind, of course, that this is only a small measure of websites that they're monitoring. Net Applications monitor operating system usage by recording OS versions for about 40,000 sites they monitor for clients. It's... I don't know. I like Windows 8. It's weird. I really expected to despise it
Is it a guilty pleasure?
No. See, okay. Here's what it is. I can see, when I'm using Windows 8, I can see why people don't like it.
Mm-hmm.
But every single one of the problems that people have with it, to me, either I don't notice them, or they don't bother me as much as they bother other people. Like, I was talking to Caffeinated Rat the other day, and he was kind of griping about how they took out Arrow, Windows Arrow, you know, the thing that lets you see through the window frames and stuff like that in Windows 7. The thing that makes everything look pretty.
Yeah.
They took out Windows Arrow in or they took out Arrow in Windows 8. There we go. And honestly, yeah, I noticed it, but really I don't mind. All of the windows are remarkably square instead of having the little rounded corners that all of the windows in 7 have.
Mm-hmm.
I don't mind. It just... I don't... Of course...
That's amazing, Mizu.
I've never really hated anything. I don't hate things. Like, even terrible movies. I don't hate terrible movies. I like movies. I like games. I like things.
Spybot bricked Windows 8. It's amazing. You like terrible movies?
I haven't actually seen a lot of terrible movies.
I'm gonna give you some.
No.
No.
But while we're on the topic of
Terrible movies.
no, operating systems.
Oh. No, we're on the topic of terrible movies now. You just switched.
No,
it.
we're on the topic of operating systems.
Okay,
Linux.
take it back then.
Ubuntu has entered the smartphone wars.
Oh God.
Yeah.
I don't
After
even want a smartphone anymore.
instead of going after the tablet and smartphone market, Canonical is bravely starting 2013 by trying to become a major player in the smartphone market with an upcoming version of Ubuntu.
You know, I kind of don't want a smartphone anymore.
I kind of really want a smartphone if it's
It
running
sounded cool at
Ubuntu.
first, but I'm kind of afraid that if I buy one, someone from an opposing company will come and kill me.
Bryce, by Sprint, we won't murder you.
And then someone from Apple comes and kills you in the night. What's gonna happen? I don't even want to know how many deaths can be accounted to the smartphone wars.
Well, as you can see from these pictures over here, the interface is clearly based on Ubuntu's Unity interface, but it's not just the same old desktop shrunken down to a smartphone. According to Canonical, the smartphone Ubuntu will use all 4 edges of the screen for a more immersive experience. Ubuntu uniquely gives handset OEMs and mobile operators the ability to converge phone, PC, and thin client into a single enterprise superphone. Now, where is it? Ah, there it is.
I know.
Now, at the same time, though, it's not just a smartphone operating system. And this is the neatest part that I've heard about this. Jono Bacon, Ubuntu's community manager, added on his blog that Ubuntu for phones is not just limited to the operating system on the phone screen itself. Ubuntu also has the technology, as demonstrated with Ubuntu for Android, to boot a full Ubuntu desktop from the phone when it is docked with a screen. This provides a complete Ubuntu experience in your pocket for both your phone and your desktop, with a clean, consistent look across both screens.
I think you forgot to recognize that his last name was Bacon.
No, I
That's
recognized that his
delicious.
last name was Bacon.
Delicious.
And I say I'm tired.
I don't even like bacon. I just sorry. I got hooked on his last name. Anyways, have
Alrighty.
you tried Ubuntu?
Yes, I have Ubuntu running on that computer right back there.
Do you enjoy it?
Yes. Personally, I'm not bothered by Unity. I mean, everyone bitches about Unity, but I don't mind. Although I don't use the desktop all that much, I use it from command line. So I don't really see anything on there anyways.
Oh, I see how it is.
Yeah. Um, well, we've been talking a bit about Google in passing.
We have.
Yes. So let's talk Google Glass. We haven't actually had a story about these guys in a while.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, remember those? The awesome looking glasses that I totally want a pair of.
That you totally would pay millions of dollars for.
I would pay. That's what I would spend the $1 billion on. I'd move to Kansas
a pair
City.
of Google glasses.
I'd move to Kansas City, get Google Fiber, and get a pair of Google glasses.
That would pretty much be your billion.
Well, Google's Project Glass, the company's venture into wearable computing, was officially unveiled over a half a year ago now. We haven't really heard much about them since then, but IEEE Spectrum published an interview with Babak Parvis, the head of the project at Google, who didn't reveal too much that we didn't already know, but he did lend a few details about Google's intentions for Glass and how far along it is in its development process. He says that it has a touchpad for user control, but the company is still developing voice commands and head gestures for more intuitive control of the device. Google hopes to be able to get a full day of battery life out of Glass, but again, this is still in development and not nearly complete, as is the ability to accept phone calls with Glass, says Pavis. He says that there are no plans to incorporate advertising into Glass, which is awesome. And additionally, although he says that augmented reality isn't our immediate goal for Google Glass, I think in the future, augmented reality will also come into the picture. So augmented reality is exciting when you think about future generations of this type of wearable computing.
Someone's gonna die.
So, but it's gonna be so awesome.
Someone is gonna fall off a cliff or something. There's gonna be a horror story within minutes of it being released.
Yeah, they do say though that the development of Google Glass is still very much a work in progress, and Parvis even admits that the feature set for the device is not yet fully determined. It's still in flux. He's saying that developers will be able to write apps that take advantage of a cloud-based API to tap into Glass services once the device ships. And, those are actually surprisingly cheap. The first people to get a crack at owning Google Glass devices will be attendees of 2012's I/O conference that were willing to part with $1,500 for the privilege. Google had said that those pre-ordered devices would begin shipping sometime this year, and it doesn't look like that goal has changed. The company even hopes to have a consumer version available by 2014. I want this to be a thing that actually happens.
I wonder how much it'll be when it's consumer available.
Well, I'm thinking the $1,500 isn't even remotely close. It's not going to be something amazingly affordable right off bat with like $150 or something. It's probably going to be like $200-300 at least.
Yeah.
But it's $200-300 for glasses that are computers.
And then They can put computers in my pens.
Dude, there's already computers in your pens. Well,
So
flash drives at least.
So I can play games on my pen. I want the ability to play Skyrim on my pen.
It'll be slow, but you could do that right now. You just toss a flash drive into your pen, you plug your pen into a computer, boom.
No, I want the ability to be able to play Skyrim mobile. From my pen.
Just holding the pen, Skyrim.
Holding the pen Skyrim style. I don't know how it would work, but make it happen.
All right. Well,
That's your next challenge, Google.
well. Ooh. Let's
And then put computers in my pants. Yes.
close out this section with a story about Christmas.
We have too many of those.
I'm not looking forward to section 2 all of a sudden.
What?
Yes. For our last story, we have a bit of a Christmas story.
Actual movie?
Only in as much as it's about Christmas. 17.4
numbers.
million Android and iOS devices were activated on Christmas last year. Sorry, I forgot that it's 2013 right now.
And none of them were mine.
Yeah, that is over 4 times the average for the entire rest of the month, pretty much.
So these people got a shitload of those.
Yeah, the average December 1st through 20th was 4 million. And then on December 25th, it spiked up 332% to 17.4 million device activations in 24 hours. That averages out to just under 1 million devices activated an hour.
Well, they have the graph right there.
Now, needless to
Those
say,
are the downloads.
this is a new record. Flurry, the Flurry Analytics, who track worldwide activations of Android and iOS devices, they claim that the previous record was set on Christmas of last year, 2011, when the total iOS and Android device activations topped 6.8 million.
You know, I kind of like these graphs. They're pretty simple and pretty easy to read.
Yeah,
These are some good charts and graphs.
these are amazingly good. Like, I don't even need to give you the story. I can just show you, here's a graph,
Here's a graph.
here's another graph, and you still know exactly what happened.
You don't need to be like an expert at in this field to know. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Oh, and, ooh, that's an interesting one. I like that one.
What?
Interestingly, December 1st through 20th, the iOS and Android devices activated, 80% of them were smartphones, 20% were tablets. But on Christmas, it was pretty much half and half. 51% tablets, 49% smartphones.
I thought you were gonna say like it was the opposite, like 80% tablets and 20%.
No, everyone still gets iPhones and Android
they do.
phones and Nooks and, you know, all that shit for Christmas.
Is the Nook a tablet? Or is it a smartphone?
Yes.
Thanks for not answering.
I don't know. I'm tired.
Then what's the Kindle?
Something.
It's an electronic of some sort. You are really tired.
Yeah.
Just
Alrighty.
gazing off into space.
I'm thinking slower than usual. That's pretty much all it is, really. Alrighty. Let's take another quick break. We'll be right back after this
Takes a nap.
after this a little bit longer of a break.
Okay.
Unless you're watching on YouTube or
In which case, there's no break at all.
TPTV, where all you're waiting for is the next video to load up.
The beauty of that.
Yep. We'll see you in a second.